Imagine writing a simple BDD Playwright feature file and watching AI perform every step in the browser. No coding required. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel WishInfinite. Today I will show you how Anthropic Cloud plus Playwright MCP can take your plain Gherkin scenarios and directly run them as automated tests without a single step definition file. And we are diving into the exact process no one is showing you yet. And before moving further, I would like to inform you that you can now support my YouTube channel, and for that you can go to my channel WishInfinite and then click onto the join button. Here you can select the desired options to become a channel member. You can unlock exclusive perks while helping the channel grow. Your support means a lot. And a big thank you to everyone who has taken channel membership. As a token of appreciation, members can see their YouTube profile picture featured randomly on channel homepage. Also, you can access this complete automation using AI and MCP servers playlist under Playlists tab. Feel free to save this playlist by clicking onto the Save button for quick access in your YouTube playlist section. Now let's continue with our current topic, which is no-code BDD testing with Playwright MCP and Anthropic Claude. About no-code BDD testing with Playwright MCP and GitHub Copilot, we have already discussed into one of my previous video. If you have not watched that video, I will provide link of that video into the description, or you can click onto this I button at top right corner to access that video. Apart from that, we have also discussed that how we can configure Playwright MCP server with Anthropic Cloud. And if you are not aware that how to configure Playwright MCP server with Anthropic Cloud, I would highly recommend you to watch that particular video before proceeding further with this video. I will provide link of that video into the description, or you can click onto this I button at top right corner to access that video. Now let's first see little bit of theory before proceeding further with the practical. This is same theory which I have used for GitHub Copilot video also. So here first question is that what is BDD? So BDD means behavior driven development. It is the way to write tests in plain English sentences. It is also called Gherkin language. So anyone, even non-programmers, can understand what the test is doing. And now what is BDD in Playwright? So first, what is Playwright? Playwright is a tool that automates the browser. And when you use Playwright with BDD, you write your test steps in plain English, like given I am on the login page, and connect them to the Playwright code that does the clicking, typing, and all other operations. Usually when we use Cucumber, which supports BDD, we write feature files which contains multiple scenarios to test your application. So here is one example of feature file, where we mention feature that what is the feature which we want to test, and then we test different scenarios there by providing different steps that how we want to test that particular scenario. And when we are using Cucumber with BDD by using any of the tool, it can be Selenium or Playwright. So there, apart from this feature file, we have other components also. Like there, we would be having one step definition file where the code related to each and every step would be there. So whatever the sentences which we are writing here using the Gherkin language, for each sentence, we would be having some code there into the step definition file. And apart from that, we have one more component, which is runner file, where we will have different configurations related to the Cucumber. But when we are using Playwright MCP server with AI assistants, in that case, we will not have to provide any step definition file or any runner file. We will have to just write our feature file using these syntaxes. Now let's proceed further. So for this particular video, I would be using this practice website, which is WishInfinite.com. This is my website. You can go to this playground section and you can also use it for your practice. Now let's proceed further with practical example. Now let me open VS Code, where we would be able to see our feature files, which I have already created with some of the examples. You can also use Notepad to write these feature files, but here into the VS Code, we will get proper formatting as well as proper suggestions. So in the previous video, where we performed BDD testing using Playwright MCP server with GitHub Copilot, we have used these two feature files, where we verified e-commerce login functionality for WishInfinite as well as the form functionality. Now we would be verifying this selectors section into the WishInfinite.com. For that, I have already created two feature files with some of the scenarios. You can write these feature files with all the scenarios and details manually also. But here, just to save the time, I have already created this feature file so that we would be able to use it directly into Claude app. Here, let me quickly explain these two feature files to you. So see, into this selectors1.feature file, we have mentioned this feature colon, and then what is the feature which we want to test. So here we have mentioned verify selectors functionality in WishInfinite.com. So here under playground, we have this selectors section, which we want to validate. And after that, we have mentioned this background colon, and under background, we have given that I'm on the WishInfinite.com homepage. So here we are considering that user is navigating to the WishInfinite.com and then would be performing all these scenarios. You can write this given sentence directly under scenarios also. See here we have used this given with the scenarios. So it's up to you. Now after that we have written two scenarios. So here we need to follow this syntax. Scenario colon and then what is the scenario which we want to test. And under the scenario we would be having different steps. So scenario colon and here we have written verify single select dropdown and second scenario is for verifying multi-select dropdown. And under each scenario we can mention different steps which we want to test. And here we need to use this when, then and keyword, right? So when and after space, here we need not to put any colon and then we need to mention that what exactly we want to do. So here I mentioned that user navigates to select a section under playground. Here by mistake I've used this small letters, let me correct it. So here first character should be capital, when, then and right here and for this and also. Although when we are using Playwright MCP server with the AI assistant, this exact syntax will not affect that much if you are using any small letter or providing any extra spaces or missing colon. But when we are using Cucumber with BDD, we need to follow the exact syntax. So now when user navigates to the selector section under playground, then I should see the single select drop-down button. So here under the selector section, we have this single select drop-down. And here again, I've mentioned when I click onto the single select drop-down, then I should see the single select options drop-down. And again, I've mentioned that when I select an option from single select options drop-down, then the selected option should be displayed correctly. So this is our first scenario where we have mentioned that user need to navigate to the selector section under playground. Then they should be able to see the single select drop-down where user should be able to select values from these options and it should get selected properly. So that only we have mentioned here with the help of this scenario. And into second scenario, we are going to verify multi-select dropdown, where again we have mentioned that when user navigates to selector section under playground, then I click on the multi-select dropdown button, then I should see the multi-select options dropdown and I should be able to select multiple options from dropdown. So here we are going to validate this multi-select dropdown where we will try to select these options and it should get selected properly. So like this, you can write multiple scenarios with n number of steps. And here rather than writing this user, I will use this I because I am performing this action. There is no such hard and fast rule, but here it will look proper, right? That I am going to perform this particular action and I should be able to see this item or this element, right? This is the verification. So here we are performing any action and then we are verifying that action was successful or not. And now quickly have a look at selectors2.feature file. Here again, I mentioned that what is the feature. So feature colon, and here you can provide any valid details. So here I mentioned that verify selectors functionality in WishInfinite.com. Then I've provided this background colon and then given I'm on the WishInfinite.com homepage. And then I've just mentioned one scenario that verify searchable dropdown, which is this one. And here these are different test steps that when I navigated to the selector section under playground, so under this section, then I should see searchable dropdown button, which is this one. And when I click on the searchable dropdown button, I should see the searchable options dropdown. So here we have mentioned that we need to click here and then we should be able to see this dropdown. Now when I type in search box of the searchable options dropdown, then the dropdown should filter options based on the input. So here let's say I type banana, so it should be displayed here. We can also select it, but I'm just verifying that on searching the option, it should be filtered out. Now let's perform these operations using these feature files with Playwright MCP server and Claude desktop app. So let me first open this Claude desktop app. And here, as I told you, that we need to first configure Playwright MCP server with Anthropic Claude app. In my previous video, we have already seen how to configure Playwright MCP server with the Claude app. Let me just show you quickly that how to do that. So for that, we need to click onto this hamburger icon, then go to this file, settings, and under settings, click onto the developer. And see, for me, this Playwright MCP server is already configured. If it is not configured for you, and if you want to get detailed information that how to configure Playwright MCP server with Claude desktop, then you can watch my previous video I will provide link of that video into the description, or you can click onto this I button at top right corner to access that video. If you are already following automation using AI and MCP server playlist, then you would be able to see the video here into the playlist. So this is the video where we configured Playwright MCP server in the Claude desktop. And here for now we are able to see one MCP server, but if you will configure multiple MCP servers, the list would be appearing here into this section. And we need to do this MCP server configuration into one JSON file. For that, let me click onto this edit config, and then let's open this Claude_desktop_config.json. Here I've opened it with the VS Code now. You can open it even with the notepad also. And see, here we have mentioned all the configurations which are required to configure Playwright MCP server with the Claude desktop. So like this, you need to configure this Playwright : and this object with the command and args. And here our Playwright MCP server is in running state. Now let's go back to this chat window. And here let's perform the prompt to perform the testing. So let me paste the prompt here, where I've mentioned that execute all the actions described in the given feature files. It can be single or multiple feature files using Playwright MCP server. For each scenario, follow the Gherkin steps exactly as defined, performing the corresponding operations in the browser. Ensure every step is executed in sequence, matching the feature file's intended behavior. Handle multiple scenarios across different feature files as needed and report execution results step by step. Here you can write more simple prompt or more detailed prompt, right? It's totally up to you how you want to modify the prompt using plain English language. I will provide this prompt into the document also for your practice purpose. So now you can directly use this prompt when you are practicing. Now here we have mentioned that it need to perform actions using the feature files, but till now Claude is not aware about the feature files. And here how we can provide the feature files to the Claude desktop app. So previously we have seen that we can provide the feature files to the GitHub Copilot, and in the similar way we can provide the feature files to the Claude app. For that we need to click onto this plus icon and click onto this upload a file. And here you can go to the specific location where your feature file is there. So for me, it is inside this particular folder, which is automation using AI-MCP server. Inside that, I have this features folder, and inside it, I should be able to see my feature file. Here, the feature file is not appearing. For that, we can click onto this drop down and can select this all files option. Now we are able to see the feature file, and now let's select this first feature file. Let's open it and see our feature file is appearing here. And now we can click onto the send. And by using this prompt, it should be able to use this feature file and perform all the operations. And for now, I'm using just one feature file. We can add multiple feature files to perform all the actions in one go. Let's click onto the send for now and see here it is using the same feature file and our prompt. And see the execution got started. It has already opened WishInfinite.com. Then it went to this playground section and then navigated to this selector section. And now it will perform action for single select dropdown as well as multiple select dropdown. See, all the things are happening automatically. I'm not even touching the mouse. And here it is not asking me any of the permission because I've already performed most of the actions for the selector section into my previous video. And at that time, I clicked onto this allow always for all the tools which are getting used to perform different operations or actions. See here, automatically, it is trying to select apple, banana. We have not even provided any data. We have just told that we need to test this particular part or this particular section, and automatically it is considering all the data and performing different operations. Now it has tested single select dropdown and multiple select dropdown. Let's go back to Claude app and see all the actions and verifications have got performed. Where we can see the whole response as well as test summary. Previously also, I've explained that you can go through the complete response where you would be able to see the section where you can click and check that what action got performed with all the details. See here, it navigated to this WishInfinite.com and then it clicked onto the playground link, then clicked onto the selectors button, and after that it verified single select dropdown. For that, it clicked onto the single select dropdown, then selected the option where it has also mentioned that it selected this apple from the single select dropdown. After that, it provided summary that scenario 1 verify single select dropdown completed. Here you can find more details related to the scenario. See, the background was that I'm on the WishInfinite.com. Then it navigated and then it performed the verification, right? It is the action and this one is the verification, right? Same thing we have mentioned here. See, this is the action and this is verification. So automatically it is able to interpret that what is the action, what is verification, and then it is showing all the details here. Then here it selected single select drop down and then verified that single select options are appearing, and then it selected Apple and again verified it that Apple got selected or not. And similarly it verified the scenario 2 for the multi select drop down, where again it clicked onto the multi select drop down, where it selected Apple option in the multi select drop down, then again selected banana. With the help of control key it tried to select two options, right? So now it has selected multiple options into the multi select drop down, and then at the end it was able to successfully verify this multi select drop down, where again it provided the complete summary. You can go through this summary for more details. And at the end it provided this test execution summary that in total we were having 2 scenarios, out of that 2 passed, 0 failed, and overall status is all tests passed. And here you can again read this short description that single select dropdown allows selection of one option and displayed it correctly, and multi select dropdown allows selection of multi options simultaneously and displays all the selected items correctly. So like this, you can provide all the details into feature file with all the scenarios. If you want to provide any specific data, that also you can provide. For that, you can just search the Google that how to provide data into the feature file using BDD, right? And then here into the prompt also you can mention that use data from the feature file. So like this, there are multiple ways to provide all the details, data, and then by giving just this simple prompt, we would be able to execute all the scenarios into the feature file. And now let me show you how we can provide multiple feature files into Claude app. First, let me copy this prompt. Let's open new chat. You can also use this old chat also, as we are using this free plan. So sometimes the limit will also get reached for the specific chat window, right? So now I'm clicking onto this new chat. And here, as we saw, we can provide the files by clicking onto this plus icon, then upload a file. Here we can select all files, and then we can select the feature file which we want to upload here. And if you want to upload multiple feature files, you can simply control click onto the other files. See, I pressed control and clicked onto this select as 2.feature file. So now both 1 and 2 files got selected. Now we can click onto the open and it will upload both the files. And there is one more way where we can upload these 2 files. So rather than clicking onto this plus and then upload a file, we can follow that way also. Let me remove these files from here. If you also want to remove, you can simply click onto this cross icon, right? Now in the second way, we can simply drag and drop our files to this particular chat window. Let me do that. Let's open our feature files into the Explorer. So these are 2 feature files, right? Let me select both of these 2 feature files. You can select multiple files or single file here. And now let's drag and drop these files to the Claude app. So let's go to this app and now here drag and drop to this chat window and release your button. See, both the files got added here. So either you can click onto this plus icon and upload a file and select the files, or you can simply drag and drop files from any location. And now here we can provide the same prompt that execute all the actions described in the given feature files. Right, same prompt I'm using, and this prompt is also here into the document if you want to use it. So now we are having 2 feature files. And now let's click onto this send. And now it should be able to perform all the actions which are mentioned into both the feature files. And here in total, it should be able to test 3 scenarios. 2 from this select as 1.feature and 1 from this select as 2.feature. See now, it has already started performing all the actions and verifications. It has went to the selectors and the playground, then validated the single select dropdown, and now it is validating multi-select dropdown. And now see, it has started performing action for the searchable dropdown, which was there into second feature file. It is trying to search for this apple here. And now let's see our Claude desktop. And here it is writing the summary. And now all the actions and verifications got performed. And it has also provided test execution summary. So this time it has executed 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, scenario 2, which are from the selector 1.feature file, and scenario 3 is from selector 2.feature file. And here we can see the key results that all the scenarios executed successfully. 3 out of 3 got passed. All steps completed, 100% pass rate. And here it has mentioned that what are all the components which got tested. So we tested single select dropdown, multi select dropdown, and searchable dropdown. And these are all the functionalities it verified. And if you want to get more details, you can see complete response. You can go to these sections to get more details, right? And like this, you can provide multiple feature files with the multiple scenarios to perform your testing. And see, it is very simple. We have just provided simple sentences into plain English language. You can also call it Gherkin language, right? You can even use Notepad to provide all these details. Where you will have to create the feature file, you can provide all the details. I've used the VS Code because here we get proper formatting as well as these hints, right? Because as you have noticed, I've written that when in the small, so that keyword was not getting detected. But here, with the help of VS Code, we were able to detect it and then corrected it. So now you can try the same thing for your website also. You can try creating multiple feature files for different features into your website and then can create multiple scenarios to test those features. Apart from that, we need not to write a single line of code here. And if you are finding this playlist helpful, let me know into the comments below. And feel free to share your suggestions. I would love to hear your thoughts. And now I will conclude this video here, but before we wrap up, let me give you a quick recap. So here we saw that what is BDD in Playwright. Here we also saw one example that how we can write our feature file with different scenarios. Where we validated this WishInfinite.com, where under playground, we went to the selector section and then validated the single select dropdown, multi select dropdown, and searchable dropdown. You can also validate this basic selector, advanced selector, also any other section from this site or from your site which you want to test. Then we saw that we can write our feature files here into the VS Code or directly onto the Notepad. Right? These are feature files. Let me just open any of the feature file into the Notepad so that you would be able to see it there also. See, I've opened it into the Notepad++. You can open it in the plain Notepad also. And here you can add multiple scenarios with the multiple steps into the plain English language, or it is also called as Gherkin language, where you need to use these keywords like feature, background, given, when, then, and, right? And with that, you need to provide the details in this syntax. So we saw we created two feature files where we provided feature, then background that we are onto this WishInfinite.com, and then we performed different scenarios to verify single select dropdown, multi select dropdown, and into selected to.feature file, we verified this searchable dropdown. You can give any name for these files also. It's totally up to you. It should be meaningful. And here under each scenario, we provided different steps that what are all the actions which we want to perform, and then what are all the verifications which we want to check. And like this, you can provide n number of steps for a single scenario. And in the similar pattern, you can provide multiple scenarios. And then we saw that how we can configure Playwright MCP server with Anthropic Claude. For that, we need to open this Claude desktop config.json file, and there we need to provide the configuration. Like this, we can provide the configuration. And once your Playwright MCP server is configured, we just need to provide the prompt. Like this, here we provided this prompt to execute all the feature files to perform all the actions. I provided this prompt into the document if you want to reuse it. And then we can saw that we can add our feature files into Claude desktop. For that, we can click onto this plus icon, click onto this upload file, and from here we can select all if we are not able to see our feature files, because here that feature extension is not provided. So here we can click onto this all files, and then we can select either a single file or the multiple files by control clicking onto those files. And then we can click onto this open, which will add these files here into our Claude desktop app. We also saw we can remove any of the file, or we can use this drag and drop feature to drag our files into Claude app. So like this, we can drag and drop our feature file into the Claude app. And once we provide the prompt and provide our feature file, we can click onto the send to perform all the actions and verifications. Where we saw that we will get all the details that what are all the actions which got performed, what are the values which it selected, right? And it will also provide a proper summary about all the scenarios and overall key results. So for you, this response can be little different here and there, but ultimately you would be able to perform your actions and verifications, and you would be able to see all the details with proper summary. And as I told, you can try the same into your project with any of the website. And that's it from my end. You can click onto this first card to go to the next video. You can click onto the second card to access this whole automation using AI and MCP server playlist. And stay tuned for my upcoming videos. If you have any comments, questions or doubts, you can let me know into the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.